グリザイアの果実。
Bonjour watcher, this is Johnny Banger 45. Welcome back to the Pro of Grisaia. Yes, last episode we are seeing the breakdown of Sachi's family where they no longer catch her attention.
続きからよ。
So now Sachi will play with this boy. He wasn't doing anything, just sitting quietly on the swings, staring off into space. I'd always thought of a park as a place where everyone would play out all the time, so that motionless boy struck me as out of place. What's that kid doing over there? Only a few seconds after the first biggest of curiosity, I walked right up to him.
ねえ、私の声聞こえてる？
Huh.
だから私の声聞こえてる？それとも聞こえてない？
If I couldn't hear you, I don't think I'd be able to answer.
ああ、そっか。そういえばそうだよね。
So, did you want something?
うん。あなたは何をしているのかが気になって。
Well, I wasn't doing anything, I guess.
何それ？
Ah, look, what a two beautiful couple, see? Yujiko and Sachi-chan. Well, my sister told me that sometimes people need to spend some time doing nothing at all.
へえ、あなたのお姉さんって面白いこと言う人なんだね。
Yeah, that's what everyone says.
でも公園は遊具がたくさんあるところなんだから、ブランコとかジャングルジムで遊んだ方が楽しいでしょ？そう思わない？
Yeah, you're probably right.
じゃあ一緒に遊ぼうよ。
Huh?
私はここで遊びたいって思ってて、あなたも公園は遊ぶところだと思ってる。だったら一緒に遊ばない理由はないでしょ？ほら行こう。
The boy looked so painfully bored that even the saddest kid in the world had forgotten to feel sorry for herself. As he blinked up at me, completely dumbfounded, I grabbed him by the hand and pulled him along with after me. That was how I met Yuku.
まずは何をしてで、そうだ。
What's wrong?
あなたの名前を聞くの忘れてた。
Yeah, I guess you did.
じゃあ改めて、あなたのお名前は？
Yuji. Kazami Yuji.
ユージくんか。じゃあこれからユウくんって呼ばせてもらうね。
Huh?
そっちの方が呼びやすいでしょ？
What's your name then?
私の名前はサチ。小峰サチっていうの。
Sachi. Like an oka.
ねえユウくん、パンチしていい？グーで。
What if I spank you right in the kiss? Sorry?
それから私の呼び方もユウくんが好きに決めてくれていいからね。
Okay then, I guess I will go with Sachan.
やっぱりさっちゃんか。
I mean, nothing else really comes to mind.
そうだよね。
After this brief exchange of introductions, we immediately got down to the business at hand.
じゃあ最初はあれからだよ、ユウくん。
The jungle gym.
そう、まずはどっちが早くてっぺんまで登れるかの勝負だからね。
Wait, hold on a second. After designing the event on the way, I forcibly started the game. Yuki didn't have any many suggestions to himself, but when I pulled him on his arm, he followed. Pretty heavy-handed, I know. Anyway, we must be fairly evenly matched in reflexes and strength. Every game was a competitive game. I was always the winner, but of course, only by a narrow margin. That made the game much more fun, so I just keep going and going. Before I knew it, the sun had begun to sink below the horizon. Oh, I think I need to go home pretty soon.
もうそんな時間になってたんだ。
Yeah, we end up playing a whole lot.
ごめんね、遅くまで付き合わせちゃって。
That's okay, I'll be fine as long as I hit home straight.
それならよかった。
Yeah.
それじゃあバイバイ、ユウくん。
Bye bye. Thanks for playing with me today. Kind of weird for the person who got dragged along all the day to say thanks to the person who was doing the dragging. It was also odd that I thought about Yuko the whole way back home. I ended up so lost in thought that I barely touched the meal our homekeeper had made for me. What Once he actually stopped praying, I think he enjoyed it just as much as I did. But when I was trying to think of a new place or when we stopped for a break, Yuko went right back to the especially I saw on his face at the start. Why was Yuko in that playground in the first place? It obviously wasn't to play. Maybe something bad happened at his home too. Partly out of simple curiosity, I decided that I wanted to see Yukon again. The very next day, I made my way back to the playground. And sure enough, he was sitting on the exact same swing with the exact same downcast look on his face.
こんにちは、ゆうくん。
Konnichiwa.
今日は最初から返事をしてくれたね。
Well, yeah, and you say hello to me again, Sachan.
だって昨日一緒に遊んだんだから私たちはもうお友達でしょ？
Friends?
それともまだ早すぎたかな？
No, thanks for calling me your friend. See, he's smiling. Did I say something weird?
そうじゃないけど、ゆうくんはよくありがとうって言うなと思って。
That's something else my sister told me. People who can offer thanks to others have happier road through life than people who can't, so...
ゆうくんはお姉さんのことが好きなんだね。
Huh?
だって昨日もお姉さんの名前が出てきたから。
I guess I did, now that you mention it.
じゃあやっぱり？
Yeah. Sometimes I don't really understand what my sister's thinking, and sometimes she even kinda scary. But she's normally really nice to me. I think I love her more than anyone else in my family.
そっか。でも今度は私もゆうくんのお姉さんに賛成する。
Really?
私のお母さんも言ってたんだ。誰かによくしてもらった時はちゃんとお礼を言いなさいって。
So I guess you love your mom, Sachan. Since you brought up her advice.
そうだね。私はお母さんとお父さんのことが大好き。
No kidding. Watashi wa. As the conversation moved along, we slowly learned more about each other that was surprisingly fun in its own way.
ねえゆうくん、せっかくまた会えたんだし、今日も一緒に遊ぼうよ。
I don't mind, but is it really fun playing with someone like me?
もちろんだよ。ゆうくんも運動は得意みたいだし、どの勝負も接戦だったから昨日はすごく面白かったよ。
Thanks. It's nice of you to say that.
ゆうくんまたありがとうって言った。
Ah, you're right. But that was fine by me. For some reason, every time you could say thanks in a slightly bashful way, I feel genuinely happy.
そういえばゆうくんは何歳？
I'm 10.
じゃあ私の方が年下だったんだ。
Huh? Seriously, I was so sure it was the other way around.
じゃあゆうくんは私の方が年上だと思ってたんだ。
I mean, you're stronger than me and I'm a boy.
あ、ゆうくんってばひどい。私が怪力女みたいな言い方して。
So sorry.
そんなに怒ってるわけじゃないから謝らなくても大丈夫だよ。
Really? That's good. I only be trying to tease the slightest timid Yukon a bit, but when he smiled with sincere relief to learn that I wasn't upset with him, I was surprised to feel my heart flutter briefly in my chest.
そういえばゆうくんはどうしてこの公園に来るようになったの？もしかして聞いたらダメなことだったかな？
No, it's okay. I just came because I didn't want to be at home.
やっぱり家で何か嫌なことがあったの？
Not really anything bad, but I didn't want to be in the way.
じゃあな。
Yeah, you might not believe it, but my sister's what they call a genius. If she just studies a little, she can win first prize at anything. That's how smart she is.
わあ、すごいんだね、ゆうくんのお姉さんって。
Yeah, but lately she has been winning that many awards. At home, she's been paying more attention to me than her painting and stuffs. Dad got really mad when he noticed that. He told me you're useless trash, but Kazuki actually was something. Don't drag her down with you. So I try to stay out of the way as much as I can to keep out of my sister's way. So their parents hate him. That's the story of Yuji. Sorry, not really an interesting story, is it?
絞りかすなんかじゃない。
Huh?
ひどいよ、そんなこと言うお父さん。 ゆうくんは運動が得意だし、ゆうくんと一緒に遊ぶのはすごく楽しい。それなのにお姉さんの絞りかすだなんてひどすぎるよ。ゆうくんはゆうくんでいいんだから、自分はいらない子だなんて思っちゃダメだからね。
I hadn't intended to cry, but I really was angry at Yuko's stupid dad. And the way he didn't belong in his home reminds me of so much of my own problems that sort of got jumbled together in my mind. I couldn't help shouting that it wasn't true, that he and I was unwanted. Sorry, don't cry, Sachan.
私の方こそごめんね。急に泣いちゃったりして。
It's okay, thanks for getting me mad for me.
違うの、私が怒ったの。
Because something bad happened at home, right? But that doesn't matter, you still got angry because of what my dad said.
だってゆうくんが絞りかすなんかじゃないと思ったの本当だし。
Yeah. Sorry, Rita, I will play anything you want today for as long as you want.
いいの？
Uh-huh.
じゃあ公園鉄人レースでもいい？
Playground Iron Man.
これを初めてやろうとした時はお父さんが腰を痛めて途中でリタイアになっちゃったんだけど、最初は砂場のお城作りから始まって10回連続坂上がりとか運転2往復なんかもあって、最後は1回転できるまでのエンドレスブランコっていうプログラムなんだよ。
That sounds a little.
じゃあゆうくんが家に帰らないといけない時間まで昨日みたいに遊ぶなら？
Yeah, I'll be glad to.
じゃあ決まりだね。
I firmly wiped the tears from my face. My eyes then seized Yuko's hands and set off running from the seesaw. From that moment, the day sped past in a blur. Covering in sand, the two of us explored every inch of the park, playing and playing until we well past the time we had to leave. And when I finally made my way home the second night, I discovered a clear and pleasant change inside mine. So for months, the droning sound of the machine from the workshop bothered me so much that falling asleep was always a struggle. But that day, I was snoring peacefully away the moment my head hit the pillow. Exhaustion from running around all day definitely had something to do with it. But the more than anything, I was thinking because I started to feel so happy. The point where I might never play again. With the family friends, I stumbled across a nice boy my age. He was a sweet kid who said thank you at the drop of the hat. So things would never go well. We'd be best in friends no time. For some reason, I felt absolutely certain of that. As it turned out, my hunch was on the money. After those first few meetings, Yuko and I started playing together in the park pretty much every day. At first, we headed home quietly and the sun begins to see, but after a while, we naturally start to say, "See you tomorrow." And when one of us couldn't make it for whatever reason, we let the other know in advance. So that one day, Yujiku left behind without saying anything. Sachan, what are you doing over there?
何ってゴミを拾ってるんだよ。
Yeah, but why?
だって次にこの場所で遊んだ時綺麗だった方が嬉しいでしょ。
Wow, you're so thoughtful, Sachan. I mean, lots of people might think the same thing, but that doesn't mean they will clean up the mess themselves. And you did it without even thinking about it. You're kind of amazing. Did I say something weird again?
久しぶりに褒められたからちょっとびっくりして。
You haven't?
昔はね、私が頑張ったらお父さんとお母さんが褒めてくれてたんだけど、今は仕事が忙しいみたいだから。
Okay, in that case, I guess I have to take over that job for now. It doesn't seem hard to find stuff to praise about you. I think even I can handle that as one. That's okay with you?
それはいいけど。
Okay, in that case, good job, Sachan. With those words, Yuko brought his hand to the top of my head. It was far smaller than Mom's hand, let alone Dad's hand yet. In that moment, his hand felt gentler and warmer than anything I'd known.
ありがとう、ゆうくん。
Yuko didn't just play with me, he gave me the attention I'd been craving. When I did well or try hard, he complimented me right away. When I messed up or tried anything risky, he gave me a few gentle words of concern. Apparently that also had to do with his big sister teaching, but whatever the case, Yuko's thoughtful warnings made almost happy as his praises. Lately, I started to wonder why I was trying so hard when no one even cared enough to look. But now Yuko was watching me, I had new reason to do my best. And something happened. Please, something happened. I want to climax now.
それじゃあ見ててね。行くよ。
Yeah, be careful, okay?
どう私ちゃんとできてたかな。
Yeah, you spun all the way around perfectly.
ありがとう。
That's really amazing. Not that I'm much good at the horizontal bar or anything, but I never done a forward flip even once.
そんなにすごくはないと思うけど、今日初めて成功したから最初はゆうくんに見てほしかったんだ。
Oh really? Thanks, Sacha. Huh? Did she just kiss?
これはいつも私と遊んでくれているお礼だよ。
Yeah, thanks. When I try hard at something, Yuko also prays at me. Sometimes overflowing with happiness, I do give him a kiss on the cheek in return, and more than once, I drove myself so hard in pursuit of some new achievement that I end up passing up on the playground. That was how much Yuko's words meant to me. He had stepped into the gap left by my parents' absence, giving me attention and affection they no longer would. As I grew more and more cautious of what he meant to me, my daily life was quickly transformed. I spent less time inside the house. When I got home from school, I headed straight off to the playground. More than anything, I was looking forward to the time I could spend playing with Yuko. At home, the constant grinding of the machine and the perpetual silence of our music box still painful, but I found I could endure them now. But not to say that I didn't interact with my parents at all.
サチは最近よく公園で遊んでるみたいね。
ゆうくんってことお友達になれたから。
そう、よかったわね。
お母さんもお仕事頑張ってね。
When coincidence brought us together, we were able to hold slightly awkward but reasonable friendly conversation. Even so, I had actively tried to regain their attention. In contrast to the steady shrinking place my parents held in my heart, Yuko's friends grew larger and larger by day. I wish I could hurry and be tomorrow so I can play with Yuko again.
ゆうくんは好きな人とかいるの？
A sudden confession, I guess. Like I said before, I guess my sister.
そういう好きじゃなくて結婚したい人とか。
Mary, I haven't even thought about that stuff yet. Sacha, are you thinking about it already?
私？
Well, you brought it up, so I thought you were probably interested.
そっか、そうだよね。
Yeah, so do you have someone you want to marry? No kidding, okay, then
でもね、私と結婚するには条件があるの。
qualified.
そう、靴飛ばしで私より靴が飛ばせる人。
Shoe kicking.
こうやってブランコに座ったままでどこまで靴を遠くに飛ばせるかっていう勝負なんだけど。
I get it.
だからね、ちょっとだけゆうくんもやってみない？
Me?
ゆうくんが私より靴を飛ばせるかちょっとだけ試してみるの。
Sounds kind of fine, I guess. Sure, I will play.
じゃあまずは私からね。
Confident, huh? Well, it does seem like something you've been good at, Sachan. Whoa, that went pretty far.
じゃあ次はゆうくんの番だよ。
Yeah, I'm not that confident, but... Hiya. I guess I can't beat you after all, Sachan. I purposely went a little easy on my cake, but I still end up beating Yuko. Every once in a while, being natural athlete can be a curse instead of a blessing. I spent that night curled up in my bed, bitterly regretting coming out with that stupid qualification in the first place. There must have been a better way to hide my embarrassment than that. And so time slipped by sadly, my feelings are spoken. But as my next birthday grows near, my relationship with Yuko started to change in a different way. Something's going to happen.
それでね、その時はお父さんがお母さんのことを怒らせちゃって。で、ゆうくん？
Oh, sorry, I was kind of spacing out.
もう、ゆうくんが私の家のこと聞きたいって言うから一生懸命お話ししたのに。
Yeah, you're right, sorry. Yuko had always listened intently to my stories. This was the first time I could remember his attention wandering in the middle of a conversation. but my uneasy was relieved quickly enough. He apologized and listened to the rest of my story. I figured he just had something on his mind that day. And yet, Sachan, do you think there's a god? You know, one who knows everything and can't do anything. Can't do anything. If there's a god that strongly watch us, even if it thinks slowly, but it will turn out okay in the end, right?
そうだね。私は神様を見たことがないから絶対にいるとは言えないけど、でも神頼みって言葉もあるくらいだし、神様はとっても強いんじゃないかな。
Yeah, that's gotta be right. God's gotta be really powerful.
多分。
That's what I thought too. Thanks, Sachan. Sometimes he suddenly talk about God or weird stuff. More often he's sick, rocking on the swing, staring out into the distance with a blank look on his face. It was the old familiar, especially for the first time I met him. Then especially he stopped making after we became friends. I had a vague idea that something must have happened at Yukun's house. But I was still a kid, powerless to offer any real help. When Yukun asked me those questions, clearly searching for reassurance, all I could do was listen, nod, and try to hide my concern. At the same time, the blizzard of work I had been bearing my parents for so long was finally starting to slow down a bit. The machines were careless while as late into the night as they used to. Once or twice I went home late to find my parents making small talk with strangers in suit. Like most kids, I did get pretty curious about what was they were talking about. When I eavesdropped, all I got was a whole bunch of words I didn't really understand flying back and forth. I got the idea they were talking about the machine in the workshop, but the specific went right over my head. I probably buy replacement for the old machines, the why it's not so busy. Only a few days after I received the conclusion, our housekeeper told me she'll be leaving the job. My mom told her that she'd be able to handle the calls by herself again. It was nice that my parents were getting less busy and the mom would be looking after the house again, but at that time my mind was so full of anxious thoughts that I couldn't manage to feel happy about anything else. Lately he didn't show up at the playground a lot frequently. But you could inside your head you don't care about your parents anymore. Because only Yuji in his mind. Let's see what happened.
ねえねえゆうくん、次は何して遊ぶ？
Uh-oh. Sorry, I got something I have to do today. I have to head home now.
そっか。じゃあまた明日だね。
I don't think I can come tomorrow. But I will play with you the day after that, okay? What?
わかった。じゃあまた明後日だね。
Okay, shit's happen now. Yeah, sure. Bye, Sachan. Our meeting slowly grew fewer and further between. The loneliness reminded me of the painful day when my parents had first speaking and ignored me in favor of their job. Watching helpless as you could trust away, my mind churned with sadness and fear. At this rate, you couldn't going to leave me too. I couldn't let that happen again. I couldn't let another person I love abandon me. This time I had to stop it somehow. The next time I saw Yukun, I decided to use my birthday as an excuse to force him to spending more time with me. Oh.
あのね、明日は私の誕生日なんだ。
Oh, really?
だから明日は私と一緒に遊んでくれる？
Actually, I probably won't be able to play with you for a while, Sachan. A bunch of stuff happened at home. I think it's going to be hard for me to get out from now on.
そんな、急にどうして？
Turns out there isn't any such thing as God.
神様？
Yeah. Nobody's gonna protect me anymore. I probably won't be able to play in a part like this again.
そんな。
I'm sorry, I know I should have told you sooner, but Sachan, you always look forward to play with me. I didn't want to make you sad.
ゆうくん。
But vanishing suddenly without telling you would be even worse. So today I came to say goodbye.
じゃあ、ゆうくんとはもう会えないの？
I don't know for sure, but it's definitely possible.
そんな。
And I snuck out of the house today, so I had to get back before Dad notices.
ねえ、明日は私の誕生日なんだよ。
I'm sorry, I can't celebrate with you, Sachan. Okay, I'm gonna go now.
待って、ゆうくん！どうしてもう一緒に遊べないの？私そんなのやだよ。せっかく仲良くなれて、これからもっともっとゆうくんと遊べると思ったのに。それなのに、突然お別れしなきゃいけないなんて。
As he could slowly walk away from the very last time, I yelled at the top of my lungs, more loudly and more desperately than I ever had before in my entire life. But he never paused, he never turned back. You could sleep with me. Maybe I was right, maybe everyone I loved abandons me. Paralyzed by miserable self-pity, I couldn't even chase after him. For a long time after that abrupt farewell, I could only stand shocked still at the entrance to the park, wallowing in confusion and pain. Then something happened to her, I guess. And on the morning of my 10th birthday, rubbing my red, swollen eyes as I crawled out of bed, I immediately realized that something was different. For one thing, I could hear the drowning of the machine that had been running from the early morning hours for now, 4 months now, and for another, the smell of fresh miso was wafting through the air from the kitchen. Your parents. Could that be mom cooking? What about work? Still half asleep and completely nonplussed, I went over to the living room where an unexpected sight was waiting for me.
おはよう、サチ。
おはよう。
Mom and Dad were sitting next to each other on the far side of the table, almost as if they'd been waiting for me to wake up. After greeting me, they were waiting with gentle smile for my answers. It almost felt like I was reliving memories from these days before they became so busy. The sheer surprise was such that it took me a moment to find a response.
おはよう。
どうしたサチ？そんなに目を丸くして。
だって今日は機械の音がしないし、それにお父さんとお母さんがこの時間に家にいるなんて。
そうだな。自分たちのしてきたことを考えれば、サチが驚くのも無理はないか。
今までが今まででしたからね。
The two of them smiled sadly at each other, they then turned right back to me.
あのね、サチ。今日はサチの誕生日だから、お仕事はお休みにしたの。
今まで寂しい思いをさせてしまった分のお礼を返上させてもらおうと思ってな。
Sachi, don't you dare reject their kindness.
夜になってケーキを食べながら誕生日をお祝いするまで、今日はサチと一緒に遊ぼうと決めた。
The words coming out of their mouths were exactly what I've been longing desperately to hear for so many months. It felt so much like a dream that I very nearly pinched myself. Mom and Dad would be at my side again like they used to be, just like when everything was full of happiness. We could play together as a family once more. That was what I wanted all along, even I was playing with echoes. I daydreaming countless times about this very moment. And I was praying my parents for giving me the gentle, caring words I longed to hear. My heart should have been bursting with joy. And yet, what I felt inside was dark. Intense anger had thought a heat of the long smoldering inside the cranium into my bed had found the oxygen it needed burst into a blazing wildfire. No, Sachi, no! No matter how hard I tried, they completely ignored me. Why all of a sudden? Why now all of a sudden? Do they seriously think taking one day off is gonna make me forget how sad I've been all this time? Good luck with that. You could take their place, but now he's even girl, so why? Why now? Why do they think you can just... Cold black pain is spread into my body. I lift my head to give my parents the answer.
いいよ。
What?
別に遊んでくれなくてもいい。私は一人でも平気だし、お父さんとお母さんが大好きなお仕事を休んでもらってまで一緒にいてもらおうなんて思わない。だからそんなに私の誕生日がお祝いしたいなら二人だけでやればいいんだよ。
Ah, she break. The instant those sulky words left my mouth, I pointed out of the living.
サチ！
待って、サチ！
She got out. They called out me from behind, but I just kept running out of the door away from our house. Not that I was heading anywhere in particular. Anyway would be fine as long as mom and dad were there. I didn't want to see their faces. I didn't want to hear their voices. That was a very bad choice, Sachi. I ran as fast as my leg could carry me. My hands clenched tightly to face, beating my mouth lips until the sickening taste of iron filled my mouth. As I played, the only thing in my mind was my anger at my parents. Looking back on it now, it wasn't much more than an irrational outburst of pent-out emotion. But still, rather than feeling happy at their promise to celebrate my birthday together, I was outraged at my parents for wrapping out all the sadness and pain I prepared alone for so long into those splendid words about feeling alone. And in the end, my blind, aimlessly flight carried me to that familiar playground. I had consciously thought about making my way here. If anything, I was intentionally trying to stay away from the area close to my home. At some point, I definitely passed a hospital much further away than this place. It was so some unconscious part of my head guided me to this destination. The impact of the previous day events must have been just that strong. I could have simply accept that unbelievable abrupt goodbye. As you could laugh, I had screamed that I'd been waiting for him today. If I forced a one-side promise on him, maybe he slipped out of his house to see me? That selfish, childish hope was still alive inside me.
今何時だろう。
Wiping the sweat from my forehead, I looked up to the tail clock tower nearby. It was a little past 10 in the morning. You could always came to the playground about 1:30 on weekends, but I decided my husband would start waiting now. That way I'd be here if you could carry it. And if mom and dad saw, I could always just run away again.
そうだよね。
Tried to discuss the pain and anxiety growing inside me. I forced myself to believe in this spur of the moment plan. I walked over to the swing set where the two of us had always sat side by side, settling into my seat. The day before, I told Yuko I would wait for him in this park, but it wasn't like he promised to come play with me. He hadn't even responded to my words. There was no guarantee Yuko would come to this park. Still, I had absolute faith that he showed up eventually, and I was pretty confident I could wait patiently until then. But as the clock hour's hand it's way past 5, and my vigil approaches 8. Even the childish confidence began to waver.
やっぱりダメなのかな。ゆうくんとは昨日でお別れしなきゃいけなかったのかな。
The playground that had always felt too small for us suddenly seems an unbelievable large and empty place. Yuka had told me clearly now that he couldn't play with me anymore. That's even getting outside would be difficult from now on. He could even make it to the park if he wanted to. Having regained the ability to think rationally with the passage of time, my mind rushed to chip away at my unfounded confidence. And finally I arrived at the realization that I do back up myself into a miserable corner. Once the timid thoughts passed through my mind, it was only a matter of time. The painful emotions I'd been covering up with my anger came bubbling back up to the surface. I was really mean to mom and dad again. They were gonna play with me and I ruined everything. This isn't any different from last year. Even if I go home tonight, my very is gonna be mom and dad yelling at me. We each other thought the anxiety and regret swelled out uncontrollably inside me. Before I knew it, in fact, tears were running down my cheeks. Yeah, why you throw your anger to your parents? That's not good.
お父さん、お母さん。
You rude to them, you know?
サチ
When I squeezed my eyes closed to shut out the world, I saw my parents in my mind's eye, their faces gentle and kind. No matter how lonely they made me, no matter how much I tried to hate them both, in the end I still love them both very much.
Sachi!
And the moment I finally understood, I thought I could hear those familiar voices, not in my memories but somewhere nearby.
Sachi!
I raised my hand with a jerk, indifferent now that tears that continued to pour from my eyes outside the park. Just on the other side of the road, I saw my mom and dad. Even from the distance, I could tell they were covered in sweat, that they'd be desperately searching for me. Mom and dad, still mom and dad after all, the people I love the most in the world. I should know that all along. Why could I have accepted them from the start? No, there was no longer any point in even thinking about it. I was wrong now. All I had to do was apologize. All I had to do was jump into their arms and yell, "I'm sorry for being selfish."
お父さん、お母さん。
サチ
Once the two of them noticed my presence, their expression instantly melted with relief. I dashed out of my overwhelming happiness and I heard sudden fears of rose display like a sound of fierce wind. In that instant, the world before me was filled with a colossal jet black blue. What? Holy shit! I heard the sound of something colliding with something else, then screeched to a halt nearby. I had reflexes squeezed my eyes shut when I timidly opened them. I would speak with the unimaginable. Both of their parents Mom and Dad were stretched out flat on the road surface, almost as if sleeping face down. Dad did it with stare, a machine with a dead battery. Mom twitches convulsively again and again, a broken toy. The blood pooling under their bodies creeped slowly across the orange tilted asphalt, dyeing a road a dusky red.
何これ。
Oh my god! They are her parents! Those agonized groans, so totally unlike any other sounds I'd ever heard from my mother bank, filled me with a terror too pure and primal to express in words. My ears had begun to ring as if to drown out the unpleasant sound of the truck engines idling nearby. With every fast moment that passed, my breath came faster and faster. I couldn't fully grasp what had just happened before my eyes. But instantly I understood that it was something so awful as to wipe everything that has come into the complete irrelevance. What do I do? What do I do? Right, I gotta call for help. At times like this, call 911 first. My mother was still capable of thinking about what should I do next. And yet my words was on the spot as if physically rejecting the comprehensive situation before me.
Sachi.
At the sound of my name, I turned my eyes back to the ground. My mom was dragging herself slowly across the road to me, desperately trying to communicate something.
お母さん、お母さん、お母さん。
The sign instantly reduced me to a panic freeze. All I could do now was shriek her name. Lifting her tremble up her body ever so slightly off the ground, she slowly raised her head and then...
サチ。どうして。
And then she spoke those words. And she died. In that instant, I thought I could hear something snap inside me. As my body began to quiver uncontrollably, the world was covered in black shrouded. The split second after the buzzing drawing inside my head finally went silent, I lost consciousness entirely. Apparently, a local passenger quickly reported the incident. It wasn't long before the ambulance carried us away. Not that I remember any of that. When I opened my eyes for the next time, a full day has passed, and I was lying in a colorless hospital room. A certain place. Oh, we still a flashback.
Sachi, 目が覚めたのか?
I heard a chair scraping against the linoleum floor nearby. A moment later, a familiar face appeared before me. Well, Sachi, you killed your own parents. Not your doing, but by accident.
秋広おじさん。
Akihiro.
ああ、おじさんだ。それより体は大丈夫か? どこかが痛かったり気持ち悪かったりしないか?
I gingerly moved my arms and legs several times, but couldn't find anything wrong with my body.
大丈夫。
そうか。よかった。
My uncle smiled broadly at my words, staring in the corners of his eyes. Still a little dopey for waking up, I felt a simple curiosity about the intense emotions so evident in his face.
ねえ、おじさん。何かあったの？
And he can't say, your parents died. When I put the question into words, my uncle averted his eyes. His expression filled with reluctance and pain.
お前の両親はな、事故にあったんだ。
事故。
As I dully repeated my uncle's words, a memory has slipped cleanly from my mind slowly reemerges. A small part died in the light of a evening sun. The smell of burning rubber, the sound of the truck idling. And finally, Mom and Dad lying in the pools of their own blood. That was me. The scene flashes before my eyes in perfectly clarity. Reflexively, I tried to look away, but there was no escape, and in the next moment, my ears were filled in the awful droning buzz.
Sachi.
So she did have some disease. I think it's some kind of trauma. My field of vision grew slowly narrow, and a choking sense of paralysis spread throughout my body. As I thought, my body temperature had suddenly plunged. A violent wave of nausea and a splitting headache attacked me all at once.
おい、サチ、大丈夫か?
おじ
サチ! 先生、サチが目を覚ましたんですが、急に苦しみ出して。
As the world grew dim before my eyes, I could barely make out my uncle's shout his desperate for someone's attention. Wait, now I can't see or hear anything. Oh, guess I'm failing again. The instant that thought ran through my head, I plunged into nothingness. Ah, we still flashback. Never mind. It will be a full 3 days before I woke up again. When the nurse noticed my eyes were open, she immediately called the doctor in charge, who would conduct a quick examination on the spot. After determining that I was so severely impaired as to cause difficulty in ordinary conversation, the doctor began to explain many things to me. Dr. Akihiro, Uncle Akihiro, who came running over to the hospital, soon joined in as well. That day, Mom and Dad had been in a traffic accident right before my eyes. Just as I ran towards them, a truck with a drunken driver behind the wheel had barreled through the intersection, ignoring a red light. It had horned by the massive vehicle which had been traveled at 60 km an hour or more. My dad died instantly from a massive blunt force trauma. Oh! Mom had miraculously survived, but at the moment she is still unconscious, fighting for her life in critical condition. When I learned all of this, I didn't cry in grief, and I didn't explode with anger against the man who caused the accident. The words the doctor used was really hard to understand, so a lot of conversation went over my head. That probably has to do something with it. But more than anything else, nothing about this situation feels remotely real to me.
やっぱりちゃんと動く。
That night, finally alone in my dark hospital room, I flexed my legs and arms truthfully. No matter how many times I tested, my body didn't feel injured. I could move just as freely and easily as before. And maybe that was that. Maybe Mom was lying unconscious somewhere in this hospital, but I hadn't seen either of them yet. So maybe everyone telling me about this accident was just lying. Maybe if I were to get out of bed and head straight home, my parents would be waiting for me there. No. My thoughts persistently returned to these comfort paper-thin theories.
お医者さんが嘘を言うはずないし。
Yes. And more importantly, in the depths of my mind, a clear memory remained. The instant my thoughts brushed against that fragment of the past, I could hear my heart throb violently in my chest. That is her regret, I guess. This time, the shrill buzzing that had accompanied the similar incident 3 days later was conspicuously absent. In exchange, the most severe headache of my life fell upon me with all suddenness and forces of an avalanche. The sharp burst of pain, as if my body was warning me not to touch an open wound, robbed me to the will of wing dunk. Then I would just stop trying. I was sick of fainting. We're gonna end the episode here right now. It was just, oh my, such tragic.
セーブするわ。
A video just for fun? Don't take heart, brothers and sisters. I don't understand what do you mean Crazy Apple. I think Crazy Apple is how her parent died, I guess. Oh, save here. Magic word time. Adios e famosa. Crazy Apple.